Building client application has never been an easy task, thanks to the advent of AI technologies. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can use tools like Cursor AI to build application faster by providing the most simplest prompt you can think of. I'll walk you through the process step by step from getting the templates used to providing the prompt and letting Cursor write the code for you. All you have to do is to accept the generated code and move to the next component. We'll be building an e-commerce system that comprises of a sign up, login, user dashboard, product display, product description, add to cart, and checkout feature. We will also create the admin section to manage the user product, cart item, and generate receipts for the user. At the end of the video, you'll be familiar with Cursor AI environment, the basic of PHP programming language, my SQL database where we'll be storing our data. This video is practical based and will benefit those of us that want to begin our AI journey and start coding faster. It will benefit students who needs to meet deadlines on their school projects and launch as soon as possible. Without wasting much of our time, let's dive in. I'll be showing you where you can get any template you want to work with, but I'll be sharing with you the one I am using. When you visit teamforest.net, search for Arion dashboard and you will see the dashboard template there. For learning purpose, you can download the one I used. Click on the GitHub link below to download the file. First, we need to download and register an account with Cursor by visiting their website cursor.com. On your search engine, type Cursor AI and click on the link with www.cursor.com to go to their website. While on their website, click on Download for Windows if you are using the Windows operating system. You have to wait for a while for the download to be completed. Once the download is completed, you can go to your download folder in your computer and click on the Cursor setup file to proceed with installation. After installation, an interface will appear where you'll be asked to select an integrated development environment. I'll be using VS Code since it is the coding editor I've been using for a while now. You will also want to provide a language for your AI. I'll leave here blank since the default language is English. Next, we are asked if we want to launch our project from the command line using Cursor or code. Since I like to try new things, I'll click Install Cursor so I can use the Cursor keyword to launch my project from the command line. After installation, I'll click OK and then continue. I'll be asked if I want to import my existing extension and settings from VS Code. If you have been using VS Code, click Use Extension, else you should click Start from Scratch. Wait for a few seconds to finish importation. For data preference, I'll be choosing private mode and then click on Continue. The next thing you want to do on your own is to sign up from their website and then log in your detail in the Cursor IDE you just downloaded. So the next thing we need to do is to download the XAMPP server. The XAMPP server will serve as our server which we are going to run the PHP code we are going to be using for this project. So the XAMPP server also provide the MySQL database. MySQL database, with the help of SQL, we're able to connect to this database and then run some query to manipulate the database. So first thing, you need to go to the Chrome browser. When you have your Chrome browser open, you want to search for XAMPP. So just type in download XAMPP, and then you can click on the first link, download XAMPP. Now we have various versions of XAMPP. We have version 8.2, 8.1, 8.0. I'll be going for the latest version, which is 8.2. So I'll just click on download. Now you just wait for a while and your download will begin. This might take a little time. Alright, so our download has begun. Okay, 70%. And then 100%. So now we have downloaded the XAMPP. The next thing we want to do is to go to our download folder and then double click on it to install. So you click on yes. Okay, to give you a notice saying because of an activated user account control, just click OK. Alright, we have welcome to XAMPP setup wizard. Click on next. Okay, you can see we have MySQL, we have FileZilla, we have Mercury, we have Tomcat, we have Perl, we have PHP So the two main components we'll be using is the Apache server and then MySQL. So what you do is to click on next. Remember, this Apache enable us run the PHP we are going to be using to write our code. In fact, we won't be writing much of the code because the Cursor AI will be helping us do that. So where we'll be downloading the features of this XAMPP is in a XAMPP folder. So I'll be showing you that after we are done installing. So English, click on next. All right, preparing for installation. So after installing XAMPP, you'll be asked if you want to open the XAMPP application now. We can open it now so we see what interface it has to provide. So once I click on finish, I'll wait for the XAMPP program to get started. Now, if you watch, we have the Apache as the first module, and then we have my SQL. So the Apache is the environment that should run the PHP code, while my SQL is the database. So if I should turn on these two by clicking on Start Apache and Start my SQL. So I'll be asked to use a public network, allow. All right. Now, since we've started the Apache and my SQL, I want to show you a folder. A folder was created called SAM, and when you click on this folder, we have another folder called htdoc. This htdoc, when you open it, this is where we'll be creating any PHP project we are meant to create, because in this environment is where we can run the PHP code using a local host. So we'll be seeing that in the next video. So the next thing I want to do is to minimize this. Okay, we've started our XAMPP and our Apache. Now let me show you where the MySQL database should be. The database, to locate it, since you've started this Apache and MySQL, when you go to your browser and you type localhost /php my admin, when you hit on enter, an environment will come up. Okay, now this is the PHP my admin environment. In this environment, we'll be creating our database, and then this database will have various tables for our application. But we don't need to create the table from this interface. We'll be writing the code that is going to create this table using my SQL query. So you will not only be learning PHP, you will not only be learning how to use Cursor, you also be learning how to use the SQL query to query this my SQL database. So that's all for this video. Watch out for the next one. We will go to our local disk folder, then open the XAMPP folder, open htdoc. In htdoc, we will create a new file and name it e-commerce project. Remember to add the dash between the name. After creating our project folder, we'll go to the Cursor code editor and then click on open project. Here we will locate our created project folder and select it. Then click on select folder. Next, I'll be showing you the template we'll be working with, which is the Arion HTML template. We'll locate the index file, open it with any of our browser, let's say Firefox. And here we can see the dashboard interface. This template has different components like products, add to cart, order detail, and order invoice. Here we'll be writing our backend code on this template, and this backend code will be generated by the Cursor AI. All you have to do is follow me step by step. Okay, let's go back to the Cursor code editor and create a file. We will name this file login.php. Next, we will go and copy the code in the auth crate.html. This is how the auth crate.html looks like. It has a sign-up interface. After we have copied the code, we will paste it in the login.php file we created in the cursor editor. We will rename the login.php file to signup.php because we are meant to work on the signup.php first, then the login.php. So as you can see, this is how the code structure looks like. We'll go to our template and copy the CSS, fonts, IMG, and JS folder. So we've copied these folders from the Arion HTML templates. We'll go back to our e-commerce project and then paste this folder there. Good. So this will bring the folder into our project folder. Back to cursor. Before we start writing the prompt to generate our code, we will need to sign in. So when you go to your browser and type Cursor AI, you click on the first link and then you go to their website. The next thing you want to do is to click on the sign in button at the top right. So I'll be entering my email in the box provided and then click on continue. So I think I need to first sign up. Let me look for a way to sign up. So you guys should try signing in also if you haven't. Once you are logged into Cursor, let's go back to the signup.php file. Then scroll up to the form tag at the top. We'll want that when the sign up form is filled and submitted, it should store in a database. To achieve this, we'll create a folder called scripts. Here, we'll be writing the PHP script that will process our data, communicating with our database. We'll create a file and call it connection.php. In this connection.php file, we will write the code that will connect to our database. Then we'll go back to the form tag and add an action attribute to it, providing the location to our connection.php script so that when the form is submitted, the data is processed through the connection.php file and our sign up data is stored in the database. Next, we'll have to launch the XAMPP application, turning on Apache Server and MySQL. Then minimize the XAMPP interface. This will give us a local server for running PHP code and MySQL database for storing data. Open a web browser and type in localhost/phpMyAdmin, then hit the enter key to view the database. Alright, now click on new and enter the name of our database. Let's type in ecom since it's an e-commerce application. And then click on create. Back to the code editor I have pre-written a prompt, so I will just copy the prompt and paste it in the chat box. Then click Add Context to select the file you want the code to be written into. In this case, the connection.php file. I will also use the @ symbol to include the sign-up file at the end of the prompt, so the chat can be aware of our current code. The prompt is a simple one, which reads, create a connection to my database called ecom and create a table called user if not exists. The user table should have the following columns: first name, last name, email, password, user ID, and other necessary columns required to create an e-commerce user table. I will click on Submit and wait for Cursor to generate the code for me. As we can see, the code is generated and pre-filled in the connection.php file. All we have to do now is to preview the generated code and click on Accept All. But before we do that, let's go through the generated code. Here we have the connection data, the connection variable named con. So to create a variable in PHP, we use variable con, and is used to select the database using the select database function. We have it as select db, and this is located in line 23. We also have the SQL variable that has the query to create our user table with fields like user ID, first name, last name, email, etc. We also have an if condition that checks that the query is executed and our table is created. Next, we have the if condition that handles the form submission. This form submission handler is for our sign-up form. It uses MySQL real escape string to validate the data, storing it in variables like first name, last name, email, and password. Then insert the data in the created user table. Now we move to our form. Here we will modify the fields only and not the whole code. We have the first name, last name, email, and password inputs. After the generated code, I'll click on the connection.php file context and then click the Accept All button to accept the generated code. Next, I will go to the signup.php file and locate the part which the Cursor AI provided code for changes to be made. I will highlight that part of the code and then click on Edit. Okay, I don't think we need to edit it. Let's highlight and copy the generated sign-up code instead, and then paste it on the highlighted part of our signup.php file. Make sure you highlight only the fields enclosed in the form group class div. You can see the form group class div. Also, while it's still highlighted after pasting, hold the Shift key on your keyboard and press the Tab key. The Tab key is located above your caps lock. This will push the pasted code to the right so it maintains its indentation. For the terms and condition field, we will add the name attribute terms and the value will be accepted. That is it for the signup.php. Next, we'll go to the editor where we have our templates open. Select the auth-login.html file. Select and copy the code in it. Then come to the main project and create a new file. Here we'll call the new file login.php. I will paste the copied code and then go to the connection.php file and then press on our keyboard Ctrl F to find. In the search box, I will enter auth-login.html to find the file name and then press Ctrl H to replace. In the replace field, we will type in login.php. So with this, after the user is done registering, the user will be directed to the login.php page. While still in the connection.php file, we will verify the code in it. So scroll down to the SQL query. We will remove the code from the address field to the postal code field, then modify the status field to take a voucher of 50. And then add a terms field with a voucher of 50 also. Now note that that character or voucher of 50 simply means the field will contain only 50 characters. So in our database table, every field has a number of characters it can accept. So voucher of 50 simply means, okay, the maximum length of character that can be inserted into this field is just a 50 length character. Now we have an if statement that is used to establish a connection to the database. We'll create a new variable to receive data from the form by typing variable terms equal to connection, which is con. Then we'll point it to the real escape string function, which takes an argument of post for terms data. So remember, we have in our form a data that is coming as terms, which is for terms and condition. So when the user accepts the terms and condition, this variable called terms is going to store that data. And what we are actually expecting to receive from our form is called accepted. So the value that should be stored in this term is what? Accepted. This means that the user accepted our terms and condition. After typing this, we'll find out that the following SQL gave a suggestion to add terms field and variable to the SQL. So what we will do is to put our mouse cursor at the ending of the password and then press the tab key on our keyboard to accept the suggestion. Then we have the if statement that takes us to the login if the registration is successful and to the sign up if the registration fails. Next, we will go to the login.php file. Let's right click on the script folder and create a file called loginscript.php. Now that we have created the file, let's go to the login.php, and in the form tag, we'll add an attribute called action and assign the created script to it. When a suggestion is displayed, just press the tab key on your keyboard to accept it. Next, we'll go to the loginscript.php, which is currently empty. In the chat section, we'll add the loginscript.php by clicking the add button. If it's not listed, type login and select your loginscript.php file. Also, deselect the connection.php file if it's still selected. In the chat, type create a login code for @login.php. The @ is just a way to tag a file. Then press the enter key. All you have to do is sit and watch while it generates the code for you. So we have our generated code in the login script.php. We have the email, password, and remember variable created to receive the detail from the form. We have the SQL that check if the user exists in our database. If the user exists, we store the user in the section. We have the sections which include user ID, first name, last name, email, and logged in. We also have an if statement that creates a remember me cookie if the remember me checkbox was checked. If all goes well, we are redirected to an index file, which is supposed to be our dashboard, else we are redirected to the login page. We will create the dashboard page. To do that, click on the folder icon close to the e-commerce project name, or right-click on the empty space below the signup.php. Then click on new folder. Name the folder user. Right-click on the user folder and click on new file. Name the file index.php or name the file dashboard.php. Next, we'll go to the chat. While the login.php script is still selected in the chat, we'll write user should be directed to @user/dashboard.php. This will select the dashboard.php as well. Then continue typing. When successful login, then press enter. This will modify our login script.php and create a basic dashboard page. So we have our dashboard page and our login script has been modified. In the login script, we'll notice that the remember me token field exists, but the sign up table in the connection.php file does not have the field to store the data. So we have to modify the code by going to our chat and typing create the remember me token field in the user table which is in the connection.php file. Okay, let's change the create to add. So this will modify the connection file and add the remember me token field to the SQL. All we have to do is click on accept. Next, review the login script a little and click on accept. Click on the logout.php code. Let's see what we have. So this is the code. What it does is to destroy the session and then clear the remember me cookie. So for now, let's just accept the code. Next, go to the login.php. We have some code to add to the top. Let's go to our chart. Yeah, this is it. We will copy the code created by the chart to modify the login page, and then go paste it at the top of the login.php file. Then we'll copy the page wrapper div created by the chart. So this page wrapper div is a class, or we can call it a class div. It includes the login form. Then we'll go to the login.php file and look for the page wrapper div section, highlight all that section and paste the copy code in it. Alright, so let's test what we've done so far. On our browser, we will locate our project. From VS Code, the folder which our project is stored is called e-commerce project. So we will type on the browser URL localhost /ecommerceproject/signup.php, which is the location to the page we need to go to in order to register on the application. From our interface, we have a little issue with the first name and last name field. We need to make both inputs stay side by side, more like a flex item. So let's go back to the signup.php to locate that code area. Here we have a div that is not well structured. I will add a closing div after the last name form group div to see if it will resolve the issue. Let's also try to trace the div again. There's definitely an error somewhere. Or let's move up, then highlight the element consisting of the sign-up form, then click on the edit option so we can use the Cursor AI help to figure out our issue. Remember, we are assuming we have no much knowledge in coding. Some of us don't really know how to read the HTML and Bootstrap code. So in the edit field provided by Cursor, we will tell it to check if there is a div we didn't close. As we can see, Cursor is scanning through our code to find the error. After scanning through, it has this area highlighted with red, indicating where it might have seen an error. Note that the AI is not 100% accurate, but we will just accept the changes to see how it turns out. So let's go to our browser and refresh it to see the changes. Well, I think it turns out to be worst. We can't find our first name field. Most times coding is like that, but we will face it though. So let's go back to our code and read through the code. The last name div is well closed. Let's remove the closing div for the Bootstrap code says div and closing it, and put it after the email div. Then go back to our browser and refresh it to see if we're able to fix anything. Well, from what we can see, we haven't achieved what we want, so let's go back to our code. We have the last name field, the email field, and so on. Let's highlight the whole form tag again and then click Edit. This time we will tell cursor the first name div is missing, provide it. Maybe while providing it, our code structure will be fixed. We can still provide better prompts to make it understand and solve our problem too. It will scan through our code again. Then we have this green highlighted area containing our first name field. So let's go refresh our browser to see what we've got. Well, we still have the field not occupying the full width. So let's go back to our code. Here in the code, we can see all three fields, the first name, last name, and email, enclosed in a Bootstrap CodeSys div. Note that Bootstrap is actually a CSS framework that enables us write less CSS when creating an application. In this case, a div with class equal to CodeSys means that the element in it should take half of the full width of its container. We have a suggestion to enclose the email form group in a CodeSys. We will delete the suggested code and allow it to apply only to the first name and last name field div. If we refresh our browser, we can see the email field is now taking the full width of the form. Back to our code, we will now wrap the first name and last name div in a Bootstrap row, while we enclose each of them in a separate Bootstrap CodeSys as well. Let's rearrange our code by highlighting and pressing the Tab key on our keyboard. Next, we will go to our browser and refresh. So we have our form now perfect. If you don't fully understand how we achieved to this point, you can pause the video and write the correct code, then continue with us. Remember, we are all learning. Next, we'll fill the form by providing our first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, and then click the Create Account button. Oops, we have a page not found error. This means after registration, we are routing to the wrong page. To fix this, let's go back to our code. In the connection.php file, we have the code to handle registration, and looking at the code, we route to login if the registration was successful, and back to sign up if it's not. So we will use cursor chat by asking it, list all the file I have a redirect to index.php, and then click on submit. I think we are redirected to index.html, not index.php. But let's see if the chat gives us the required solution. It says in login.php, remove the header with location to index.php and add the header with user/dashboard.php. You can see the minus symbol and the plus symbol close to each line of the code provided in the chat, indicating add and remove. But we are after why we redirected to a different page after we click the Create Account button. So for the second solution, we can see that in the signup.php, our Create Account button has an on-click event which we are to remove. So let's go to the signup.php page. Scroll down to the Create Account button. We can see the on-click event on the button. Let's highlight the code section and then click on Edit to open the inline chat. We will tell it to Change the code to submit the form when clicked. Then press enter. We can see the green highlighted code indicating the correction made. We will accept the changes and then go to our web browser. After you refresh the web browser, you enter the required field and then click on Create Account. Alright, registration successful, please log in. So let's go back to our code. Go to the login.php. When we scroll up, you can see the PHP code that handles the message. And when you scroll down, we have the part that handles the message display. But there's an issue with how our login page is being displayed. It's not matching that of the template we are using, so we'll try to look for where the error is coming from. Yeah, so we have this area commented that we should keep existing code in that section. We are not aware of these changes when Cursor AI was working on the login.php form. To fix this, we'll go to our template. In the auth login.php file, we'll look for the code area before the form tag. Note that the template we are using is currently opened on a different code editor for easy access and to avoid code conflicts. In my case, I used VS Code to open the template while I used Cursor for coding. So we will copy this code section from the templates, then go to the login.php code and locate that same area on our code. Highlight the section before the form and paste the copied code from the template. Also note that you might not face the same challenge as I do, and if you do, you will figure it out eventually, or you can reach out for a debugging session via learners@whitehatdevelopers.com. Once you paste your code, you can go to the web browser and refresh the page. Now we have our login page ready for us. The success message and form field are in place. We'll provide our email and password, then click on the login button. We are supposed to be redirected to the dashboard, but we are currently redirected to the sign up page. From the URL, we have an error equal to 1. So let's go to the code to see what the error is all about. Click on the login script.php and then press Ctrl F on your keyboard to display the find search bar. Now, when we type in the keyword error, then go through the code, we will see the error parameter which I highlighted. None has an error equal to 1. We will use the cursor chart to find the error instead. So in the cursor chart, click on Add Context and select the login.php file. Click the Add Context again and select the login script.php file. Next, we will write, when I try to log in, I received an error equal to 1 in the signup.php URL. Then press the Enter key. We have some solution suggestions provided. We will implement the correction one at a time. Solution 1 says we should replace the header location which redirects to the index.php with a new header location which redirects to the dashboard.php page. We also need to replace the email and password field in the login.php file with the new code provided in our chart. Let's go to our login.php code. Then scroll to the top. From our chat, we have a code to replace in the signup.php as well. Let's begin with the changes to be made in the login.php first. So from the first code suggestion on the chat, just copy the header code with the plus sign, which should redirect to the dashboard.php. Then go to the login.php file if you are not there. At the topmost code area, replace the header redirecting to the index.php by highlighting that area and pasting the copied code by pressing Ctrl V on your keyboard. Next, we will copy the email and password input code provided in the chat. Make sure you are still in the login.php code. Scroll down to the area where we have the email and password field. Highlight the area, right-click on the highlighted area and click Paste. Highlight the pasted area again and press the Tab key, which is above your caps lock on your keyboard, to push the code to the right to be organized. From the chat also, we have a link that redirects to the signup.php page, which we need to update in the login.php. To locate the area in the login.php file, we should copy the Alt Card button class and paste it in the find field. Once we locate the area, we can copy the code. You can see the area having the plus symbol. Then we'll highlight the sign up link and paste the copied code with Ctrl V on our keyboard. Next, we have a change to be made in the signup.php file. This is solution 3. We'll copy the link provided that redirects to the login.php page. Then go to the signup.php file and scroll down before the end of the code. We will see the area which asks already have an account. Just highlight the href to the end of the line and paste the selected code. Next, for solution 4, we will go to the login script.php, then scroll to the top. We have this area highlighted in green indicating code changes. We will just click on accept since the code seems right. We will scroll down to the set cookie function and click accept as well. From the chart, we can see there is no more changes made in the login script.php. The area for changes to be made is highlighted with red foreground. So we'll just click accept all changes at the end of the solutions. Then we can now go to our browser to test and see the outcome. While on the browser, refresh the signup.php page, then click on login link to go to the login page. On the login page, we will enter our email and password. Let me go to my database to check my email. I will click on the ecom database and then click on user table. I have my email. You can see the password is encrypted. This way, you can't see anyone else's password. I will go to the login page, enter my email and then my password and click on login. We still have an error equal to 1 and it's taking us to the signup.php page. Let's go back to our code. If I click on connection.php, I will copy the signup script handler here in the connection file. I will click on the script folder to select it. Then move up to click on the new file icon and then create a file called signupscript.php. I will go back to the connection.php file and cut the sign-up script handler this time. Then I will go paste the code in the sign-up script.php file I just created. Don't forget to enclose the code in a PHP tag. If a suggestion is provided like mine, just press the tab key to accept the suggestion. Let's review to make sure all is okay. Then we will go to our browser to test. Refresh the browser, go to the login page, then enter your email and your password and click on login. We have an error in the login page. Let me check my email in the database. I will type it exactly as it is in the database. Provide the password and click on login. Same error, user not found error. Let's go to our code. Open the login script. Let me review the code. Okay, I'll do a little debugging here. Let me echo the email variable so I can see if it's coming through. Because if we are having user not found error, then it's either the email is wrong or it's not coming through. After typing that, go to the browser and fill your email and password again. Then click on login. Now we have the full error. Let's copy the error and then go to our code chat and type, I have this error. Then go to a new line, make sure you press Shift and Enter key on your keyboard, then paste the error and click Submit. The Shift and Enter key will enable us move to a new line while in the chat. A list of suggested solutions will be provided. We will accept the first changes in the login script.php, then go refresh our browser. From the URL, we can see that we have been redirected to the dashboard page, so our login page is now working. If yours isn't working yet, you can try again from the login page. Then use the Cursor AI chat to debug any error that may occur. Now that we are in our dashboard.php page, we will want to display the main dashboard page from our templates instead of the demo one provided by the AI chat. So we'll go to our code and locate the dashboard.php file in the user folder. While in this file, let's see the template dashboard on our browser. So this is the dashboard that came with our template. We can see the structure and so on. Now let's look at this website called Siemens. In a way, we'll mimic this website a little to build the structure of our e-commerce project. Just the home page, we'll get some idea to build our own e-commerce dashboard. So back to the template browser, we need to locate the index.html file of our template, which contains the code for our dashboard. So when we go to the code editor containing our templates, we will go to the index.html file and then use Ctrl A on our keyboard to highlight the whole code and Ctrl C to copy the code. Then we'll go to our dashboard.php of our ecom code editor. Highlight the previous HTML code starting from the doctype HTML down to the end. Let's scroll to the top of the code. You will notice we have this PHP code that checks to make sure that the user is logged in before he or she can access the dashboard.php page. So we'll go to our browser and then refresh the dashboard.php page. Currently, our page is unorganized because we don't have our asset file like CSS and JavaScript well linked. So back to our code, we need to include the CSS and JS in the same folder as the dashboard.php. Go to the File Explorer. In the htdoc where we have the ecom dashboard template, double-click to open the folder. Also open the Arion HTML folder. Highlight the CSS, font, image, and JS folder. Right-click on the highlighted folder and copy the folders. Then go back and open the e-commerce project folder which contains our working project. Open the user folder. While in this folder, right-click and then click on paste to paste the copied folders. Once the paste is done, we can now go to the browser where we have the dashboard.php page and refresh it. Wow, now we have our dashboard displayed properly. Scroll to the top to make sure everything is okay. From the URL, you can see we are currently on the dashboard page.